Virtual clipboard. 3, 2, 1. What's going on, guys? Happy Friday. Thank you for joining. We have a super special one today. We have Marika coming in, Team Marika. Also have Chip Davis Jr. joining us. And we have a super glad bag of mixed variety of songs and versatility. So thank you, guys. Marika and Chip, thank you for joining.
Nice to be here.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for joining. And I have when we tag somebody writing on the track, we have a tag that we put Team Marika. And it's like Team Marika, I want to say maybe 10 people. It's like a core unit, but then the core unit just grows and grows. Right now, we'll talk about Team Marika on the track Own It, that was featured in season. They've had a couple seasons, but the latest season of the game in the back. So Own It was written by, and shout out to Andrea. So we have Marika Mallon, Tabitha Fair, Jude Toy, and Justin Wantz. And I don't want to toot my own horn. I produced that one, but you guys, the inspiration. Look, what a coincidence! Yeah, but the inspiration behind that scene and the way it came in the episode. What do you think made that one work?
Well, I think it was just the track that you made was amazing.
No.
Yeah, come on. And it was great. So I first heard it, right? And I heard the track, and I was at the cottage where I make the maple syrup. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a good track. And then I just called it Own It. And then I wrote the melody and pretty much most of the lyrics. And then what I did is I bounced it off my co-writers, right? So Justin and Tabitha and Jude, and, made a few little tweaks here and there. And it's like, it just feels like, you own it. And so I was singing upstairs, and it was really funny because I have a loft 1849 cabin. So there's not a lot of a lot of breathing room. So I was like, you own it. Because I couldn't be really loud because you wake everybody down below.
Yeah.
And then, so then what happened was, Tabitha lives in Nashville, and so does Justin. So then I said, Tabitha, you got to go in there. So she just went in there to record it. And then I said to Justin, okay, make her vocals not crystal, make them kind of blur them a little bit, And so that's how Own It came to be. And then we sent it to you going,
oh man, you guys,
I hope it gets placed.
It came out amazing. Like, the wild thing is Tabitha is and you guys, the way you wrote it, it's like because it has the vocal sample in it, comes in real percussive, and just the fact Tabitha, I'm not sure if she's done because it's not hip hop, it's like an awesome mixture of like a little taste of rock, like it's more really female empowerment, but just it's really driven. So I think that was super awesome. Some people say, oh, it's not my genre, I only stick what I'm comfortable with, but you guys totally stepped out the box.
She does everything. And what we love about her is you can throw anything at her and she'll do it, so because she's like, yeah, okay. And when I gave her the work tape, then she takes the work tape, and of course, she sings the melody, but she puts her huge, beautiful spin on things. And that's what we, Chip and I love about her, because remember that time when we sent Paris to you, right? And she had to learn French, and she's like, I don't speak French. And I go, you do now, and then remember we did Shatter. She spoke Japanese. I don't speak Japanese. You do now.
So outside the box.
She's very flexible, and she brought a lot of, I think she had Own It right where it needed to be. Scott, where you heard it and you're like, boom, that's it.
Oh, I love it.
Don't know. I took 3 years of French in high school, and I passed last year of it because Mr. Tender told me if I would play for his program, he would let me pass. I remember a couple of the dialogues. So the LaBelle song, Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir? Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? Which meant, would you go to bed with me? I didn't know that, but
no, I didn't know that either. Yeah,
that's exactly what that means.
Hey, I bet, would you go to the couch with me? So
So cool. I did not even know that. And you passed though, right? You passed.
I passed, but I don't remember. I'm now it's just like I would love. Americans we're kind of arrogant because everybody speaks our language.
Yes.
And therefore, we don't feel the need. Like when I hear like such a large Latin community here, and I would like to be able to communicate with them. And I feel a dodo because I can't. So
yeah.
And really, and I know it's an excuse, but to say like I would love to learn. And I've had some people just learn it. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And some languages are harder than others. It's like my wife is from Germany, and I'm like, I've had a lot of time to learn German. When I'm over there, I pick it up, so it's just when you try to learn about book, it's so hard. And I'm like, I will eventually. I will for sure.
Her and Frau, that's about what I know.
Yeah. Hey, that's it. But that leads me to my next question. So you guys, like Chip and Marika, you guys are kind of back to artists gravitating towards you. And shout out to Clever Thoughts, where it's kind of something where you have Team Marika, where so many artists gravitate towards you, and Clever on the last episode, same way. And Marika and Clever actually collaborated. Like, you guys are so awesome of the collaborative spirit. What kind of, because I know a lot of people can stay in their own bubble and just do their own thing. Like, what motivates you to reach out to other artists? Like, because there's a lot of people that gravitate towards you.
I think the big thing is, when we talk, and you always, because it's like Team Marika, and it really has to be a team. And that's the whole thing, is that things are always evolving and changing. And I always say, either it works, right, or it doesn't work. And if it doesn't work when someone basically stops thinking as a team. Yes. And if they think about solo, then it doesn't work anymore. And so in that case, I'm very much like, I press on and I go, I've got to rejig things, and I have to make sure the team is solid, and we have each other's back. And that's what I love about Chip, because Tabitha introduced me to Chip, and she, and I love him. And she calls me, she's like, do you want to meet Chip Davis? And I go, okay. And then she said, he's from Alabama. I go, okay, the band Alabama? Well, yeah, the band. I'm like, oh yeah, right. Thanks a lot. And she's like, no, I'm telling you, it's really true. So when I got to meet Chip, I love him, and I love Tabitha and Justin, where it's that tight collaboration. And I'm really grateful for that. And then when I, reached out to Cleva, and she was writing with me, and I could tell she was like, Marika, because she didn't know, what I looked like or this or that. She's like, and then I sent her, Party Pack, right, the lyrics.
Yes.
And then I'm not a rapper, right, but I always said, look, hey, I'm not. And then she's like, oh, I hear it. Okay, leave it with me. Okay, I got it. And then, so that's how it kind of comes to be. And I always believe, I remember someone, a really prominent songwriter in Nashville said, you bring the team with you to the finish line.
I love it.
And he said, that's the way it goes. And he says, when people think individually, forget it. You bring the team. So when I say to Chip, we are getting a placement. We're getting a placement with this. Come on, we're doing it. We're doing it.
Let's do it.
Because you bring the team with you. And that's what I love about you, Scott, is your belief. You work with a lot of people, and you represent a lot of people in sync, and the fact that you go, you know what, you're good. Let's get you some placements.
You guys are the best. That's right back at you guys. Cause what you mentioned, the finish line and belief, I love that mentality of, cause some artists you might, a goal is everybody crossing the finish line happy. And then that's the collaborative spirit. So like, if somebody's like, I don't want to do it that way, I want to do it this way, and I'm not even going to try the other way, it's like, try, and everybody's open-minded and everybody's doing what they love. So it's a beautiful collaboration.
I can't wait to songwrite with Push live. Like a writing retreat would be great.
It sounds like Nashville is a spot. Yeah, it looks like Nashville is the place.
Too many people here, guys. Oh my God, have you been to Nashville like lately?
Not lately. Not lately.
When I moved here in 92, the population in Davidson County was 660,000 people. over 2 million people now. It's absolutely like this. The skyline is unrecognizable from the last decade.
No way.
I mean,
Wow.
and you know, it's kind of a shame because Music Row was such a unique thing.
Yeah.
You know, you have old houses that were built, you know, like the late 1800s and up to the early 1920s, and they were major publishing companies would just buy these little houses and put writing rooms in them, and there was so much history, and it's just gone. I mean, I sound like an old fart,
no,
but it's been so hard to watch studios, you know, the studio where I met Kenny Rogers, where I pitched a song and he cut it, where I sang background vocals for the first time. It's sitting empty without electricity even in the building because it's worth more than the studio. So there's a huge SSL board, a 7.4 Yamaha Grand, just sitting there in this building waiting to be raised because they're going to put, you know, another set of condominiums or whatever. I mean, it's just, they have torn down they're getting ready to tear down Marty Robbins' old studio, which was called Omni. And there's so rich. And, you know, they're going to raise the studio and put like street level shopping in condos. It's so hard to watch, but like they tore down the house where Chris Christopherson wrote Sunday Morning Coming Down. I mean, you would not do that just because that's where he wrote Sunday Morning Coming Down. You know, it's like, nothing means anything. It's, you know, the big Virgin Hotel where that used to be. And it just, Music Row is, and we've displaced Vegas now as the #1 destination for bachelor and bachelorette parties.
Nashville. No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
We've got this whole thing, you know, the Broadway, which used to be like nothing in the early 90s. There were peep shows and some X-rated, you know, you didn't go down there. It's very seedy. It is now so vibrant. It's on they, you know, revitalized the waterfront. They built the stadium, but everybody's got, you know, Big and Rich, Kenny Chesney, Garth Brooks just opened, everybody, Tanya Tucker, they've all got bars. You know, the bar where Morgan threw the chair at the cops.
I
mean, up on the 6th, you know, it's crazy down there. I mean, it's like that part of Nashville is almost unrecognizable. It's like, how do we go from being the music to these pedal taverns that you want to like run over people because, you know, they're drinking, you know, not even cheap liquor to pedal themselves around the town. I just go, oh, Lord. So, but
big time hub.
It's progress, you know.
Can't wait to go and see it, Chip. See, Scott's just saying, sign me up. Me too. So we'll be there.
You was like walking around drinking cheap liquor. So I'm just kidding. so that leads to another great question of like,
hey, if I'm going to pedal my ass around town, I want top shelf. Is that wrong?
That's the truth. That leads to another great question of like preserving the essence of creativity. It's one that I ask here a lot. And Chip, by the way, you're very humble, super awesome. I know Marika gave you the accolades and artists like yourself, man, like they're like, that love to create. It's like people don't come into the room and like say their accolades and because a lot of people that do that, like it hits a little different. Like we're all like humble people. So that's super cool, Chip, man. And it's awesome what you've done.
Dude, I don't. It's like if you're tooting your own horn, it doesn't mean anything. You know, when Marika wants to say that I'm great, then I appreciate that. Yeah. And it lends it more credence than me saying, "Hey, Scott, man, listen to my stuff because I'm wonderful." I don't. Yeah. It's being a team. I came here to be an artist. My life took different. I mean, I wrote my first song when I was 11. It was a gospel song. My dad was a pastor, and the song got cut in the Netherlands like 4 years ago. The first thing I wrote. I've always done this. I was, you know, I was born. I started playing. I saw a piano when I was 5, and I knew I could play. And you know, I was born with piano pitch. There's no such thing as perfect pitch, but you know, all this stuff just kind of lined up. And reading liner notes on albums was what gave me the desire to want to be one of those people. That is so cool. So when I moved to town and I made several stabs at it. 92, I was like, I will, you know, make it this time, or I'm going to die trying. Let's go. Yeah. For whatever reason, this, you know, I got busy. Of course, the artist thing really. Yeah. I'm just now starting to pursue that.
Beautiful.
I mean, I did a solo project like 14 years ago with my brother. It was a kind of it was called Standing in My Own Way, which is it was like my journey of what this crazy world means.
Yes.
You know, and even that's changed since then, but I'm still proud of the music. But it just, I started singing background vocals and writing, and that kind of just took over my life, you know.
I love it.
So I still love the people say, when are you going to retire? When I can't sing anymore, because
never, never.
I enjoy my life to be in the studio, even here in my house, you know. I mean, I'm in the middle of Billy, you know, Billy also, come over here so you can see.
Do what you love,
on this Upside of Memories.
Hey, Billy.
And all
Great
that.
To meet you, Billy.
He's very hip to our, you know, what we're doing here. So
Chip, 4 record deals in 5 years because he did this town's first contemporary question record. There are a lot of contemporary Christian records. Chip did the first contemporary question record.
Oh, beautiful. Amazing. I mean,
of course.
Yeah. But, you know, the first thing to do is take songs off the record.
There you go. So here's a great segue to because and Billy, please stay with us because we got we're going to talk about Upside of Memories as well. Like before we leave the preserving the essence and those buildings being tore down, it basically we asked in the first episode and it really hit off. Everybody has different opinions and feels, but what do you guys feel about AI in the creative industry? Yeah, how do you feel?
You know, I think there's a place for it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sort of okay with the new Randy Travis. You know, it's odd because Tabby and I did a session Tuesday with Mark Fain, he's a incredible producer, bass player. He's played with, right now he's on the road with Ry Cooder, and he does all kinds of really great things. But we were talking about the Randy Travis single.
Yeah.
And I forget how many, it was like they took 300,000 different words, vocal stems of words, and created that. There's more where that came from. Like the fact that Randy is still here makes it kind of okay. But you know, being a member of After SAG, like we just voted and it passed with like 97 point some odd to protect our intellectual property, because Scott, they could do the same thing with me.
That's the truth.
You know, they could take the Billy Currington, I must be doing something right, which I did like 6 tracks of, you know, at the end of it, it's all me. You know, must be doing something right.
Yeah.
They can take that and they can steal my voice and put it over whatever lyrics or whatever words they want to do. And that, you know, so the bill was to protect literally our instrument, our voices.
Yes.
That I think is really, really wrong.
It is.
The fact that we can have to have a debate about if that is like stealable or not.
Yeah.
It shouldn't even be in the discussion for me. I mean, I'm sure God knows where it's going to go. I mean, I never thought. I mean, Randy's been out. I was with Alabama for 8 years, and he came anytime we played around Dallas or Oklahoma. He would come out to see us, and it would break my heart because, you know, we would sing "Forever Amen," and we would get him up on stage, and he would sing the last "Amen." You know, and you were that incredible voice, and it just broke me. I mean, sometimes I couldn't even sing on stage with him.
Yeah.
So it's great to hear him sing again, but my son and I were listening because my son's a Randy Travis fan too, and he's like, you know, Dad, it's good and it's Randy, but like, there's not the soul.
Yes.
Deeper than the holler or digging up bones or I told you so or whatever.
Gotta feel it.
It sounds to me, it sounds automatic. It sounds So I don't know how to feel about it. I mean, it's too early to judge it, but it has a potential to really crush our industry.
I think it depends how you use it. Like, for example, to use AI, right, to replace an artist, you know, the voice is not, I don't believe it's right. It's unethical.
Yeah.
So separate to that, for me as a songwriter, right, if I write, so I just wrote this song called Gone Fishing. And it's, you know, this guy's not fishing. He's fishing for like girls, right? This whole time, but you can find me at the Backwoods Bar where the Sea of Pretty Girls are. So I showed Tabitha, and she was, she listened to it, and she was, hearing the melody. And I said, Tabitha, you are going to be a guy. And she's like, I don't want to be a guy. I said, you are again. So what happened was, so I call her my AI boy.
It was learning Japanese, and it's like, I totally saw this coming.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. She's like, what? And what I said is, because I wrote Gone Fishing with Tabitha and Justin once, and I said, Tabitha, I don't want to bring in, a male to sing it, because then you have to, you're paying the male singer, which is fine. And then you've got to get the work for hire signed off. It's another expense. And I'm saying, you just need to be that AI boy. And she goes, okay.
Yeah.
So basically what he did is he just, because Tabitha has a lot of swagger, you know what I mean, in her voice to begin with, right? And so the AI didn't, it didn't replicate anybody. It was just taking her voice and saying, okay, you're going to be male for this piece.
Well, what was the song we wrote? The last thing that we used, Tabby, and it was the guy's song, Home Happiness is Home.
That was,
I played that for people, and they're like, who's singing it? And people that know Tabitha, I go, it's Tabitha Fair, and they're like, it is not. I'm like, it is. It's Tabitha Fair.
Yeah.
Pitched down and put a male timbre over her voice, and she just sounds like a really, really good.
Right.
I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah. But plus, because she has, like I said, that you're right, Chip, like that essence, right? That swagger, that groove. But I do a bit more than Chip. I go.
So it's like I get it that a good singer is a good singer. So
it's like we could take Scott like Chip's voice. Conversely, we could take Chip's voice.
Yeah.
And make him a female.
There you go.
Your day's coming, Chip. But
it's like, man.
But in cases like that, I think it works really well when you are when you have a project, right? You don't have to get other people in to do that work that you can keep in house for that purpose.
Right.
Absolutely.
So I think that's my ad.
It's okay, but not to make records with. I mean, I feel like there's something lost in the process. I'll never forget the first time my nephew showed me a song that he had asked, AI to write, and it was like writing about Reba McEntire liking ham and completely. And I mean, it spit out this decent song with perfect rhymes, and it's going, oh my God. I mean, but the thing is like Billy and I have talked about this. They took every great work of literature. They took every great song, the Beatles catalog. They fed it into a machine. Everybody's. They didn't pay a soul, and no one's been paid.
So what's going to happen in the future? AI is already being sued by major people who own these works of art.
Yeah.
And they want to be paid. And once AI has to start paying the individuals that they've robbed, it's going to get so expensive, only rich people are going to be able to afford to do AI.
There you go. Yeah.
And that's really I believe that's what's going to happen. And, I'm not going to dish you guys, but, the Beastie Boys record was all samples. And they were running little tapes, across the living room and all kinds of things. And everything that the Beastie Boys did with old music by chopping it up and creating new songs.
What AI is.
AI is going to do that with voices. Yeah. We're going to have We Are the World, and those people are going to be dead and gone, and we're still going to have a We Are the World with everybody included,
Oh, yeah.
And it's never going to go back at this point,
Because it's almost like a fine line between you stole it or you learned from it. Like
right.
I learned,
right?
I didn't steal it. I learned from it.
Right. Yeah. And so people are going to start mixing voices just like they mixed sounds. It's and everyone that gets taken will have to be paid. That's why they have to produce our likenesses and our voices, because
it'll be interesting to see.
I want to see what happens.
If they take Tina Turner, who I absolutely was one of my favorite entertainers, and one of the few people I saw her 4 times live because it was like a spiritual experience. She was just otherworldly, and the talent was so massive.
Yeah.
But I mean, the fact when she passed, I was so blue. But now I'm thinking, well, they'll probably,
there will be an AI Tina Turner.
There'll be another Tina Turner album, and it'll be brand new, just like this thing with Randy Travis. I mean, I know that John Scott Sherrill was one of the writers on that song, and I'm sure he never thought, like in his wildest, because he's a little bit older than me, probably, that when Randy Travis had that devastating stroke and he hasn't been able to talk, really communicate since, that you would have like a new Randy Travis cut. And it's crazy.
It's pretty mind blowing.
Yeah. That, and you mentioned that you didn't feel the soul in it, like from you singing with him. That's such a vital part.
It's funny because I said to my son, I said, what do you think? And he was like, I mean, it's good, but he's like, it just doesn't have, there's something
missing. Yeah.
Something missing.
See?
And what it is the humanity of it.
Yeah.
But what's going to happen though is people are going to sample the voices and they're going to remix them just like what everyone else is doing. And pretty soon it's all just going to be a big conglomeration of who knows what. The thing is, how does everybody that's getting sampled get paid? That's the bottom line.
The key to it all is the first word of it. Artificial.
Yeah.
So, God, we sound like old men. Old men without a country.
No, this is good. And that's why we ask it every episode, because everybody's different. I mean, everybody's answer is different. And it's just awesome to get all the insights. And I have one more question, because you guys are super awesome. And I want you guys to be able to have enough time to dive into the quote. If you want to leave the viewers with a quote, doesn't have to be music related. It could cover anything, motivate, however, whatever comes to mind. If you would tell, whether it's an artist or just a person in general, if there's a quote you could leave them with, feel free for sure.
Go, Marika. I got to think about this.
I know. We like them fresh.
Wow.
I would say just never. Go ahead.
Never give up. Never give up. Never give up. That is the key to life right there. Ooh. Never stop learning. Never give up.
Okay. I was gonna say I love that, and usually we don't have titles for these episodes. Like it's not gonna be like featuring, like it's not gonna have the person's name, but like I don't know if Marika, your quote, because right now I feel like "Never Give Up, Never Give" is a great title.
Yes,
but all right, you guys got it, Chip. I guess you'll go last because I put you on the spot, man, for a good quote. So Marika, let's see if we can top the title. I know everybody has great quotes.
I don't know. I would just say, beauty is in creating. And so, and I'm saying that because when we wrote Upside of Memories, I mean, I wrote the lyrics on the beach, and I worked every day on those lyrics when I was in Maui during the wildfire.
Yes.
And I said, how do you take something that it's a catastrophe, right? And find a beautiful song out of it, chisel beauty out of it. And that's really what I live by and what I stand by. And then that being said, when Chip saw the lyrics and he goes, this song is it. And when he, created the music with Tabitha, and Billy did a lot of the track, and, that was, the beauty was in the creating, because it's more than just one person that does this beautiful, gorgeous creative element. And that's where Chip was really shining, where he said, I love this song and I want to bring it to fruition. I need to have this delicate, special, perfect treatment. So that's what I live by for that.
The beauty is in the creating. I love that.
It is. When Marika said that you wanted to put it out and you were just going to use the piano and the vocal thing, and I was like, Marika, if we're going to put this out, it's not ready. She's like, oh, it is. I'm like, no, let me do a track.
Yeah.
And so I went back over it and I redid the keyboard, and then we started sending to our friends, the drummer and all that. But I guess the reason that I was drawn to that song and what kind of bonded me with Marika, like on a spiritual level, was, I come from a really bizarre background, kind of a religious cult, had to kind of escape that prison and find your way in a world that didn't make sense when you come out of that bubble.
Yeah.
You talk about bubbles we live in. Boy, did we live in a bubble. No television, no movies, no dancing, no rock and roll. Couldn't have a Beatles album. I mean, it was, everything was no.
Yeah.
And the upside of memories, and we even had this discussion with another member of Alabama. We're like, he's like, there's just some things you can't find the upside. I said, but I think the message is you got to try. You have to try to find the positive. And that sounds so damn corny.
Yeah.
If I didn't, you know, I couldn't live, because it would be too, I mean, the world is crazy. It's too dark and gloomy. I mean, I have to believe that there's a higher purpose, something beyond this mess that we're particularly right now. I feel that we're in, like, I feel like we're on a razor blade, and I'm not sure which side we're going to land on. I have to look for the upside, you know. So that became, it's what made me fall in love with Marika, was that lyric, because I do believe that, and you know, and so if I would say, I would tell people to, you know, stay on the upside of memories, you know, because that's the only way I can survive.
And Chip was beautiful, like I said, how you did the track. And I remember Chip said, okay, so with the upside of memories, how did that happen? And I said, I remember sitting with these mothers, and they came, Scott, with nothing. So they came into the place where we were staying, right? And I said, do you have anything? And they said, no, they put us in a rental car. Our purses got burnt. They had nothing of nothing of nothing. Everything was gone. And then I remember, I just asked them, and I said, how about, you know, I cook for you. I'm Italian, so I know a couple of, you know, I can cook. And they were so grateful, and they held my hand, and we were staring out at, you know, at the Pacific Ocean, and they said, we feel so blessed. And I said, you feel blessed? And they said, because the world heard us and the world hears us. And it's the first time that we don't feel alone, because we're seeing that we're not alone. And that's when Chip said to me, like, that's why he said, well, how does upside of memories work, right? With what went on. And I told that to Chip, and Chip is like, you know, that's true and honest. And you got that from basically, you know, being with the Hawaiian people and asking them. I was really honored to do that.
Oh man, thank you for sharing too, because that's beautiful. And hey, that leads back to the whole AI thing. AI can't experience that, and what motivated you to write that song. Then when you sing it and write, and it comes to a fruition, all of that intertwines to making the finish line right there. So that's awesome. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. And I'm gonna air it out. I'm gonna start off with Own It, but on the outro, we're gonna leave them with Upside of Memories. Thank you guys so much. I'm just gonna make sure we save the recording, but thank you, Chip. Thank you, Marika. And Billy, right?
Yep, you got it.
Billy, thank you so much. And you guys are awesome. We'll have to do another one too. And thank you guys so much for joining it.
Oh man, thank you. It's so nice to meet you.
It was great meeting you guys too. And if you guys want to introduce, if anybody introduce Upside of Memories, I'll go ahead and let you guys introduce it, and I'll play it on the way out.
Okay, Chip, I'll let you do that.
Okay. This is a song written by Tabitha Fair, Marika Mallon, and Chip Davis. I was honored to be the artist on this. It's called Upside of Memories.
Turn something bitter into something sweet. Better to live on the upside.